Welcome to my Just Jenny podcast. Today's guest is my friend,
Mm.
Jenn Sherman. She is a senior instructor at Peloton, but she's also an influencer. But really, I just think you're my friend and like my coolest friend, maybe because every time you're on the bike and like you say my name, I swear, Jenn, it doesn't
Mm.
matter what I've done in my career, in my life, that for some reason I get 1,000, like so many messages whenever you say something.
Can we talk about how nutty that is and
It's
how
hilarious.
it's really hilarious and not lost on me 10 years later?
Right.
Like,
Right. Well,
that's
this is,
just
yeah,
crazy.
this is the thing. You have been at Peloton since before. I mean, you're like the first instructor, I feel like, right?
The one and only.
Yeah. So talk about like,
By the
let's
way,
just
my
start
biggest
there.
claim to
Yeah.
fame at this point, because we've got such a fabulous team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was the first. Maybe not by much, but I was the first.
Yeah, and I love this story because sure, everyone today now talks about you got to put yourself out there. You have to send that email. You have to stalk someone on social media. You have to
Yeah.
get in the game. You have to do the thing that's scary. You have to
Mhm.
essentially in business make the first move. You have to make things happen. Like that's what we all talk about now.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, I would say few people were actually like doing the thing that you did. So I know you've told this story, but tell it one more time because it's just so good.
I appreciate you bringing that up again, because I want to start by saying what I did that landed me at Peloton, I had never done before. So
Right.
yeah, everyone's doing it now. Send the email, live your dream. But you know what? I didn't really know how to do that, and it was just a great. I love my story. I'm actually proud of the story. Like it's a crazy story. So going back to 2013, I did send a cold email
Yeah.
to a company called Peloton. I did not know how to pronounce the word. You know how there's a lot of people out there that still call it like pellet. I don't even know what they call it because they don't
Everything
say it
else.
right and they don't
Yeah.
spell it right.
Yeah.
That was me. I didn't, no one knew what it was. It was a tiny startup at that point. Um, I sent a cold email that wound up in John Foley's inbox. I had read about the concept and the vision, and I thought it was brilliant. But you've heard me say before, I would be lying if I told you I could have envisioned what it would explode into, grow into, turn into.
Yeah.
But I sent that email basically saying, this is why you should hire me. And why didn't I think of this genius idea? Like, well, maybe because I didn't go to Harvard Business School like John Foley did, and that's why. But that's really all it was. It was sending an email, not very, believe it or not, out of my comfort zone. I never did that shit before. That was not me. I wasn't like in that go-getter, just graduated from college mindset. I was like a middle-aged, didn't really know what was what in my life at that point. So I
Yeah.
sent an email looking to get something going with my kids who are just now starting to like get to a place where I could have a real job and go back to work.
Yep.
And that's really how it happened, the way I've told it before. And so grateful that I sent that email. It's
Yeah.
such an Jenny, it is such an embarrassing email. I will
I bet
read it
it
to
is.
you. I have it.
Oh,
It's
read
so
it. Yeah.
cringe.
Read it.
You ever hear Raquel say things are cringeworthy?
Always. Everything's cringy. What do you mean?
Everything's cringy.
My whole life is cringy.
The
Yeah. What
emails
did you
can be
write?
cringy, but John Foley liked it, and that's all that matters.
I need you to read it. Where is it?
I got it. I'll send it to you. I'm not reading it here. It's
Oh,
so.
it's probably so good. Is it like, I really love what you're doing. Please give me a chance?
Oh,
Like, what is
I
it?
wish it was. I really love what you're doing. It was like so much more embarrassing than that. It's like,
How?
this
Give
is
me the
why you need
warning.
to hire me. I'm like a party on the bike. I don't
I'm
even know
dead.
what the hell.
I'm a
But
party on the bike.
but I was also real. I wasn't being not me. It
Yeah.
was written in my voice.
Yeah.
I had already been teaching spin classes in
Okay. So
suburbia.
this is the thing. You
Yeah,
were already teaching cycling. You're
yeah,
already doing it. You're already doing the work.
yeah,
You're already showing up in your life in that way. So it wasn't like, because everyone's with the manifesting bullshit right
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah, yeah.
of like,
Totally.
dream it and it happens.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
no,
I have a lot of fucking dreams that haven't happened yet because like
correct.
that's not the things I've been doing the work toward. But what
Yes.
you did was right because you were doing the work and then you put it out in the ether.
So I'm not that crazy that I just sent a cold email without any experience.
I'm a
I
party
had
on the
been
bike.
teaching, right, in my town, about 5 minutes from my home, for a
Yeah.
handful of years at this point.
Right.
And doing, had really kind of kicked butt out here, not expecting that either, packed classes and wait list, and who would have thunk it?
Yeah.
Which turned into a Lululemon ambassador sort of thing, which was a big deal back at that point in time. And so at least when I sent the email, I did have something to back up my shit. Like I,
Yeah.
I did have something, but this was New York City, like big time fitness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like a suburban oldish mom already at that point. I always love to add that into my story because I was honest about my age. I was honest.
45, right? You're
I was
45.
a little bit younger than that, but not by much, by a year or so, because I'm there almost 10 years now. So,
Yeah.
but 40 is old in fitness. It just is, especially
Of
for
course.
a new startup
Yeah.
that's looking to be like, something to grab your first instructor at 42 years old. Like,
Yeah.
what? That shit doesn't happen, and it wouldn't happen now.
Right.
That's just being honest.
Yeah, but I
But
think that's why I think that's part of your appeal. So I think the reason that the people loved you in your town is
yeah,
because you were like them. Like you were just you. And the same like Jen from college is the Jen on the bike, is the Jen who's the mom friend, is the
yeah.
Jen who's just like us.
What's
And
up? How
then
are your kids? I know, I
yeah,
get to know people. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm going to. My music didn't suck. And I got
so
to be
good.
really well known for that.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to ride and hear, when you're our age, a little younger, a little older, you want to hear a certain something. And I provide that certain something.
Oh
I
my
just do.
god. Yeah, well, so I think he was smart to hire you. Like, you were brave and exactly right to throw that email out there, but I think that you satisfied maybe the most important demographic. Okay, so 2015, I see ads for Peloton, but it's in, like, the fall. It was must have been for holiday that the
Okay.
ads started showing on television,
Right.
and I don't even think I knew you were there then at that point, but I
Mhm.
started getting so hyper fixated on getting a bike. Like, that was it. I was like, "This is what I want for my birthday," and then remember that whole, like, big thing about the birthday gift with the Peloton, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god," I
Yeah.
would've freaked out.
Yeah.
I would've been so happy. Like, I wanted a Peloton bike so badly.
Yeah.
So, 2016, I get the Peloton bike February for my birthday. I am the happiest person ever. The day I got my bike, now obviously Peloton had followers and people on the bike, but not like
2016,
this.
no one knew what we were.
Like 2016, I
It's
could
early.
DM Peloton, which at the time was like Peloton Cycle. I don't even remember what the handle was at. It
It
wasn't
was
one
different.
Peloton, it was different,
Sure
right?
was.
And I would
Wait, wait,
DM
wait. Do you know why you know this?
yeah,
Because you're an OG.
I am an OG.
You
So
are an
wait,
OG.
and I
2016
remember
makes you an OG.
I get the bike.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because then I'm told that you're there. And my sister is like, "Oh my god, one of the teachers at this Peloton is Jen Schreiber Sherman." And yeah, and, she's the greatest girl. She was just a great girl, like,
My
you
sorority
I
sister.
know, but everyone loved
Yeah.
you in college. Like, you're one of those girls that wasn't like a polarizing girl. You weren't a girl that had a lot of people who hated her. Like, my sister, you either loved her or you didn't. Like, she
Right.
knows that. Like, she
Right.
might be jacked at the basketball game at Syracuse, which was this really horrible anti-Semitic thing that went on. But whatever. Like, Stacy, if you love her like so much you can't stand it, or you
Right.
don't like her. Like, it's just who she is. It's fine. But you had this very kind of your reputation was just, that Jen Schreiber Sherman's a great girl. And
Oh,
so I was
thank
like,
you.
okay, amazing. I get to
Yeah.
like go on the bike with a regular person. And that was your appeal, like that you were like me, that we were similarly aged, that you were able to do this. And I wasn't in a classroom with all these people breathing on me. And this is before the pandemic and sweating on me.
By the way, your dream come true.
My dream come true because it was
You
like
specifically.
no pressure. Like my username could be
You have to
whatever it
leave the
was.
house.
Everything
You
about it.
know you don't like to love you don't love
Correct.
to leave the house.
Ever. And
Right.
this was the most liberating, incredible gift to have in my life.
Yeah.
And then watching you and riding with you, I was like, it was so normal. You weren't on this bike, and this is also why I think he hired you. You weren't on the bike like, "Hey, everyone, the moon and the stars are gonna align this week, and let's just get into our chi." And you weren't, like, talking horse shit. You were just like, "I love Elton John," or whatever music was allowed back in the day. Like, you were
Right.
just normal.
No, and no shade to
Correct.
fitness instructors who
No.
inspire in that way, because a lot of people need that.
Good.
Don't come to me for that. I don't know how to do
Correct.
that.
I'm not
I
going to
can't talk
them.
like that.
No, I don't want it. I don't
Yeah.
want it. I want someone who's gonna get on the bike and be like, "I drank too much last night.
Yeah.
My kid kept me up. I've texted her. She hasn't responded." Like, I want, "Oh, look, Evan's riding today with us. Hi, sweet boy." Like, I want a normal
Oh,
mother like me, except better because you're so good on that bike and you're able to do
oh,
it and not be out of breath and you
thank
look
you.
beautiful. And so I watch you
That's
and I'm
getting
like,
harder and harder, by the way.
well, we'll get into that too. But so, I mean, when you think back to that time, which was really, there was something so sweet and charming about your followers, and like Peloton's followers were this funny community on this Facebook page that would get all riled up over who knows what without
No,
moderators because it was
don't
early on.
don't mess with them.
Oh,
Like, you
I
can't
know.
mess with them.
I
They
don't
take
even
it
know what it is
all.
anymore. I dipped
Yeah.
out. I got too
Yeah.
big. It got too much. I dipped the fuck out. Yeah.
Everything evolves, and with evolution comes change.
Yeah.
And obviously, we went through our explosion. And so, for those people that have had a bike for all the years, like you have, there was something so freaking organic and
Yeah.
amazing in those earliest days.
There was. And this,
It can't
yeah.
be, we can't be replicated. It can't be repeated, but that doesn't mean that we're not all grateful for the fact that, we have become this household name, because that's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, those early days were really special, for
And I
sure.
still love the bike. Like, so that's the next thing. I do
Yeah.
feel like you guys, it's almost like Peloton shows up. It's great for those of us who find you at the beginning, right?
Mhm.
And fell in love long before we needed you in a sense.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic comes and everybody needed you guys. And
Yeah.
I thought that the company as a whole, and I am not a finance person, I'm not like a business person, like I don't know anything really about any of that. What
Yeah.
I do know is I felt like Peloton was there for me. And I really mean that in the sincerest of ways. Like, I felt like I needed a place to go to put my energy. I couldn't be outside every day. I needed somewhere that I could just like get my workout, feel connected the way in which I wanted to other people. And that you guys provided that to me and to so many of us. And it kind of got me really annoyed when the pandemic ended and people were leaving their homes. And then there was like this weird backlash, which again, I still don't really understand it because I felt like the human aspect of Peloton was the most important thing. And the teachers showed up every day, would always give their all alone in this Fakakta studio in New York City when you guys were
Thank
allowed
you.
to from your
Yeah.
homes with like crazy connections. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I still don't understand it because like I I still love my bike and I feel like the growth that has happened has just been more options for me. Like there's more instructors, there's more music. Like now I will talk to a friend of mine in California and we'll meet on the treadmill. And I have a regular treadmill. We'll meet on my treadmill. She'll be on her treadmill or she might have a Peloton tread. And
Yeah.
we'll take a treadmill class on a smart TV,
Yeah. Isn't that
either on
awesome?
demand, right, or live. And it's so much fun. So it's,
Listen,
you know,
I'm not the business minded human, individual either to
yeah.
speak to everything that went on. I'm not going to tell you it wasn't lunacy. It was showing up for members. It was twofold. Like you and I spoke a lot during the pandemic. I was a scared shit freak maniac during the pandemic, right? And being able to still come into work once I felt comfortable doing that again with
Yeah.
all of the precautions that Peloton so gratefully took to keep us all
Yes.
safe.
Yeah.
You know what? I needed to still connect also because I was flipping out. I'm telling you, I leaned into the community as much as the community leaned into us and to each other.
Yep.
What went
Yep.
on afterwards? Listen, I don't know how any business navigates a
Same.
company that,
Same.
goes through such an explosion during COVID. But at the end of the day, what I'll say is if you love Peloton as a brand, if they've been there for you, you pretty much still love it. And there's still
Right.
so many people that have been through the pandemic and are still riding, still loving it, still showing up, still connecting with the community, have friends that they never knew before this bike.
Yeah.
That's not going away.
Yeah.
That is still there.
Yeah.
And now that we've got members back in the studio, Jenny, it is,
I know,
I
I'm gonna get
hope,
to the
God
studio.
forbid, never have
Yeah.
to go back to that with having
Yeah.
no one in the studio, because that has always been one of the hugest pieces of Peloton and what made us different and
Yeah.
special
Yeah.
is having those live members in the room. And I am
But how
so
do you
happy
deal
for
with it now? Because at the time, like, when you started or I started riding, it wasn't the mayhem that there is now, because now
yeah,
there's become like this celebrity status
yeah,
for the instructors, which, like, I'm thrilled for you on one hand because that's great. You could, if it affords you the ability to do things like be an influencer and like have
yeah,
that kind of access to things that you maybe wouldn't have. Or
right.
I know for you, you got to meet Howard Stern, which for you is like the biggest deal in the world because you were this super fan or whatever. But that's got to be different now when people come to the studio because
Hmm.
like you used to just be in the middle with everyone, and now you really
Yeah.
can't.
Well, I would say even back in the earlier days for people, what we call that, we throw that OG thing around a lot. For people that had their bikes from the early days, think about it. Not everybody lives in Manhattan
Right.
or right outside in the tri-state area. So even back then, when people were making a trip to come to Peloton to ride with their, because back then it was only cycle in the early days, to
Yeah.
ride with their favorite instructor, there was still such a connection, like in person. People would get so emotional. They feel like they know you. And I get why. They're showing up, every day riding with you. I was always a very open book on the bike, and I still am. I put a lot of myself out there. So they would come in and still be, I would get that reaction even back then. Just
Okay.
so excited to be there, so grateful to be meeting me or whoever else,
Yeah.
so thrilled to be in that small studio back then. And while taking a picture with me, getting to see like Alex Toussaint walk by to go in and get
So
ready to teach
cute.
his class,
Yeah.
like that shit's really fun and cool. And that still goes on. I would say that part of it hasn't changed as much as you would think it has. They
Mhm.
were so super excited back then, and they're so super excited now. It's
Yeah.
so amazing.
It's really cool.
It's
And just
cool.
yeah, and watching how your following has grown, like, has that been fun for you?
It has been fun, and you know why I feel like I feel like I'm in the exact space I need to be in, because I can only handle really well like where I am. I
Mhm.
don't want to be any more well known than this. This is like
Mhm.
more than I signed up for in the first place. And I
Yeah.
don't say that with any negativity, because mine is really controlled. I'm like D-list. I mean,
No, but it's
we've
good.
got,
It's I know exactly what you're talking about.
and
It's it's pretty
you
perfect.
understand what I mean, right? Like
Uh-huh.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't looking for the celebrity part of it. What I have gained from that piece of it has been mind blowing and amazing, and opportunities that I am so grateful for. But I don't want to be any more well known than this. And I'm not that well known. Trust me. Like I always joke and say, and I'm a freaking D-list celebrity. I don't need to be any more than that. I don't know that I could walk in Cody's shoes or Robin's shoes, or
Right.
some of our co-instructors are real celebrities at this point, Jenny, like real. Tune Day and
Yeah.
book deals and commercials. And I am so proud of all of them.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And I swear I mean that. This is not like sour
No,
grapes.
actually, I know that.
I don't pursue it.
Yeah.
I could be doing more and getting more. And I don't.
Right.
I have it exactly the way I love it. And I
Yeah.
have it exactly the only way I can handle it. I
Well,
don't need.
whenever 2 years ago, I think I goaded you into becoming an influencer
Yes.
because you were so not doing you would go online and you'd like talk about something or you do
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
this is your real estate. You
Right.
have the ability to monetize your real estate essentially, which
Hmm.
made sense because you're one of those people that is never going to promote a brand that doesn't align with you. It's just not who
Ever.
you are.
But
No, I
look at me.
know.
Look at me. Ready, people?
Yeah.
Ever.
No, I
So
know.
even though I've done a little bit more, and Peloton has been the reason why I've been able to, be a part of some of those really special opportunities, I only talk about what I love, what I use. I don't need to do this. I want to do it when I'm excited about something, and that's it. And, I don't do a ton of it. I'm pretty picky about it, but you're right. You were like, and I was like, I suck at this. And by
Yeah,
the
you
way,
did, and you really sucked. But you
yeah,
know what? It
I
was
still suck.
okay. No, you
I
don't. You're
still
good
suck.
now.
I don't know what
Nope,
I'm doing, but
You're so good,
trying.
and you have grown so much
No,
because,
thank
like, I
you.
saw something you did the other day, and I said to myself, "Look at Jen." I was
I've come a
so
long
proud
way.
of you.
Yeah.
Oh, you've come a long way.
Because you know what, Jenny?
Yeah.
It shouldn't have taken me this long to realize that
Never. Yeah.
just talk about what you love in
Of
a really
course.
authentic way. I
Yeah.
didn't know how to communicate. If I just be me, it works out a whole lot better.
Always. But that's
So
why we
that's
love
what I try to
you.
do.
That's why if you have a bad morning and you're on the bike, it's like the best. That's like the
Um,
best ride for me.
I have a lot of
Because
those.
right, you do, but that's so normal. Like, that's why, like, if I put on your class,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, okay, good. So she didn't sleep last night.
Yep.
That's amazing." Like,
Right.
because none of us
You
are
can
sleeping.
relate, and so many
Right,
can. Right.
right, and that's why I
Or like
think
when Carly really hasn't called me back and it's been 40. We've talked about this offline. Like, I can get on that bike in a state where I'm like, okay, I haven't heard from my kid in 2 days and I'm flipping out, but I need to get on camera right now and do what I do. But I might mention it because that just comes spilling out. Or when there's shit going on in the world, and there's always shit going on in the world. Listen, I know people show up, they want to, it's their escape. So I try to remember that, but there might be a little something. You can see it on my face. It's wearing on me as well. I'm right there with you, folks. I get it all.
but
And
I
I'm
think that's
feeling it
why
all.
yeah, but I think that's why we take your class. See, I think that John Foley was so smart to hire you, and then Peloton was so smart to keep that relationship going through
Mm.
every sort of shift because you represent so many women.
Oh,
The aging thing, the staying fit
by the
while
way,
we're getting
by the way,
older.
that's really fucking fun.
Right, and
Love
honestly,
it.
being a mother, you can't turn it off even at your job. You just
No,
can't. So to
no.
think that you're gonna somehow show up on the bike and not have some kind of emotion when you haven't heard from your kid, I can't function every morning until I know my kids are fine. I can't.
I know. I
I'm
know.
not saying it's healthy or normal or mentally well, no, but
Nothing
it's
normal about it.
real.
Yeah.
Right. So I like that you feel like that. That's normal to me. And I think to many. So, like, and then again, at the end of the day, you're actually on the bike doing it. So if you're suffering and
Yeah.
still riding and
Right.
sweating and being physically active and fit, then so can I.
And you know what? The way I looked at it is, and the way that I do look at it, most of my co-instructors, Peloton members are watching them grow up on the bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
I know.
my members are literally watching me mature on the
Yeah.
bike.
I'm
This
well
is
aware.
I'm being kind right now. Like, they are literally seeing a person that doesn't even, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so
But
why
all of
even try to,
us.
let's just like
Yeah.
be transparent with that.
Yeah.
And I'll keep telling everyone that I'm sorry that I just messed up your shout out, because I cannot read your milestone. I can't see it and I can't read it. And maybe there's people that don't want to hear that, but there's a lot of people that can relate to it. So I just do that,
There
you
was
know?
just an article in the New York Times, just an article that was like 18 pages long about
Mhm.
menopause. It's I
God.
mean, the fact is we are
Yeah.
at an age and we are at a time when it can no longer be shrouded in secrecy
Right. As it
that
should have been.
that women age.
I
What
know.
we every single woman gets older. Any
Right.
cisgendered female is going to get biologically female. You are going to age and go through menopause and have different things happen. It doesn't mean you can't look gorgeous, be physically fit, and ride the bike for 25 hours a day. But it does mean that maybe your eyesight's going to shift. Maybe you're going to forget a few things for a little bit of time and you might have a hot flash. Like, that's just the reality of it. And I think that
You mean the reality that I'm teaching tomorrow morning early and I don't recall what I'm teaching? I'm gonna have
what's
to look that shit
what's the
up.
music? That's the story of my life.
I
What's
don't
the
know. I don't know what I'm teaching tomorrow, and I've looked at it 3 times.
Do you
Like,
know what
that's the
time?
kind of thing. I'm on the bike at 10. I do know what time,
It
but
is
I
my
don't know what it
53rd birthday. Maybe I'll go on.
is.
I I know, I'm turning
Oh,
53 tomorrow. I know.
happy, happy, happy.
Painful. I'll text you. It's
You're a
painful.
baby. You're just a baby.
Yeah, okay. We're like a year apart, but it's hell. It's just, you know how it is. But anyway, my point is that the fact that you started in your 40s and now you're in your 50s is to me the greatest gift to the rider because
Mhm.
we're getting older along with you. And if we all do this together, like the concept of one Peloton,
Right.
there's then we can survive it. Like,
Right.
then we can get through, like, the tough part of all of this, of our kids aging, of our aging, of our kids growing up and leaving the nest. That whole thing and still being relevant and having our own lives. I think it's so important. It's representation.
I think that so my vision on the bike when I still get up there, and I'm so privileged to still. I keep making jokes. I got to stop because someone at Peloton's not going to. I keep making jokes that I just can't believe they still pay me to do this, and because I still love it so
They
much.
need
It's,
you. They need you like we need you.
listen, the plan going forward is I'm going to do it as long as I can do it, as long as Peloton still wants me there, as long as people want me to still show up, I will because I still love it.
Of
But
course.
why not be honest? Like, I'm not going to fake it that after I teach a 60-minute ride now, or in the middle of that 60-minute ride, I feel it in a different way than I felt it 10 years ago.
Of course you do.
Why not be transparent about that? For my riders who have been riding with me this whole time, who are feeling it in that way also,
Yeah.
we can do hard things and we can do that shit. But holy shit, did you guys just feel that? Because I felt that. Like, I just felt that
Everybody.
hurt, and I was, that just, you should have felt that,
But
you
Jen,
know?
that's the point. Everybody has that. We're
Yeah.
all going through that. And there's not a person, if you talk to any of the older athletes or listen to any of the older athletes, like the pro ballers, they
Yeah.
all talk about being when you're over 40 and then you're over 50, everything starts to creak and change. And if you don't use it, you're going to be more stiff. You're going to
Right.
have greater problems. So you're on the bike showing us that we got to move everything. And sure, it's going to feel different and it's going to take a
Yeah.
little bit longer to recover. But so what?
So my approach to teaching now has changed a little bit because I have to change with how with the changes that are going on with me and my body.
Right.
I can't try to be what I was 10 years ago,
Right.
nor do I try. I mean, I'm hanging on by a thread. You know what
How
I
do
mean?
you I know me too. How do you pick the music? How's that process now? Because at the beginning you guys had well, now I think it's changed, like, you guys get more
Nah, we
music
can play
licenses.
everything. The
Okay.
music, our music department is so kick ass. They work so hard. Anyway, everything you want to hear is we have access to it all. Thank goodness, because that's huge. And we
Yeah.
have for a long time. Picking the music hasn't changed for me. I still love my music like so much.
Mhm.
I build a playlist still. Not every instructor does it this way. I pick my music first. Don't come at me and give me your opinion on what you think of that. I build the music first, and then I figure out the class plan to that soundtrack. And I try to give everybody a little something that they like, but let's be honest, I'm selfish. I play what I want to hear
Yeah.
because you're going to get the most out of me that way. And thankfully for my audience, I like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the rock girl, the 80s girl. I did a pop ride yesterday
Yeah.
and I fucking loved it. Like loved it. Like there was like Harry Styles in there and I loved it. I'm not playing obscure shit like for our 50-year-old riders. If I am doing like a pop ride, I'm playing stuff that I really love and that and it's not completely unfamiliar. And so I love it all. That piece still comes really naturally. That's really still fun for me, even after all of these years making the playlists.
Yeah.
It's everything because it's a journey, and I want it to feel like it's a journey, and the music is what does that.
Did Rob Lowe direct message you? Because I remember you mentioned Rob Lowe one or two of the rides, something happened, and
Rob Lowe was listen. Rob Lowe was very gracious. He didn't have to be. I was like a full blown like stalker with that Rob Lowe ride. His team was involved. They did approve it. Rob was he was possibly going to ride along with us that day and be on the leaderboard. Listen, he's a busy dude. He's like shooting a show. He's got a million things going on. It did not work out, but he did repost on social. He was very gracious, and it was a thrill for me because that's like my crush
he
then
is
and
I've
now.
interviewed him. He was the nicest.
Yep.
He was as nice as you would hope he would be.
Yeah. And listen, that's a mind fuck for me to know that he actually knows who I am. Like if I was
Yes,
walking down a street in LA one day and I walked up to him, he might take a half a second but he might be able to say, "Oh my goodness, Jenn Sherman."
he
And
would.
knowing that he wouldn't recognize me,
Yeah.
that's all I need. That's like so crazy for me, you know.
Right, because a lot of famous people ride because it's perfect for
Well,
them.
think about us. Were you not a Rob Lowe fan back in the day?
Love him.
Like, come on, Brat Pack life. Like,
Yes. Oh
young
my
kids don't get
god.
it and they won't ever get like that was a proud day for me when I like got a little message from Rob Lowe and Rob Lowe's team. And my kids were like, yeah, that's don't tell people.
No,
Carly's like, don't tell anyone that. I'm like, you shut up. You don't understand.
I thought it was so cool.
That's Rob Lowe. Like,
How do people in your town treat you?
you know what? I've been living in the same community now for a really long time. I started teaching indoor cycling in this town. Obviously, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like every once in a while, if I'm in Target or a CVS or whatever, someone that I've never met before that's new to the bike that I didn't know from my past will come up to me very excited and so sweet. But yeah, no. I'm like a boring. I'm nothing here. No.
They're mostly unfazed.
Unfazed, which is
Yeah.
the way I like it.
Have you tried the new rowing machine?
Yeah, I've got it. It's downstairs. It's kick ass.
Are you teaching with it too or not?
Wait, what, Jenny?
No, okay, what? I'm just
Don't be so
asking.
silly. I
I don't
mean,
know.
please.
They've
Total,
now hold on, they've now
yeah.
gotten, like, I think Kristen is gonna go on the bike maybe, or
No,
she's
no, no,
gonna
no, no.
run.
So most of our instructors
Yeah,
are what we call cross. They teach several modalities.
yeah.
I am one of the few that just stays in my lane. Listen, would
I'm
they
just
have
kidding.
years ago were there conversations about me possibly doing XYZ?
Yeah,
But I was like, you know what? You don't want me to train you. You don't want me to be your strength trainer. I need Rebecca Kennedy and Jess Sims to train me. Like
yeah. They're
I
so
was
good.
very honest about that. I'm
Yeah,
good at one thing, if anything at all, and it's cycling. And
yeah.
I work for a company that thankfully, after years of saying, please don't
Oh, you're so
experiment with me
good.
in that way.
Yeah,
It's just not going to turn out well for anybody.
yeah,
But they allowed me to do that. They want instructors that are really multifaceted and can teach several modalities. And most at this point do. I'm one of the few that only teaches one.
it's okay, it's enough, you're good enough.
Right? It's especially now. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
no,
you can have now.
I think you should be on that bike forever. Like, honestly, I think you should be on that bike for the geriatrics. Like, I think
I want them to wheel me out of there.
but they should because we need people like honestly, I would much rather, I mean, on every level take your class than like
Oh,
a
thanks, Jenny.
super young, like,
And
I don't
can I
know.
take a moment to say thank you for all your years before I was ever on your podcast? You have been supporting me all over social
Oh my
media
God, I
in
love
all your different
you.
ways for so long, and I so appreciate it.
Oh my God, so much fun.
Really,
What do you mean? It's so
you know
easy. You're so delightful. It's like a
that.
pleasure. But wait, I want to know what a day in life is like when you're teaching. Like, what
Mhm.
happens in the morning? Like, I would be nervous that I have to pee on the bike. Like, I would have to pee 14 times before I got on to teach a
Hence, let's
class.
talk back to it circles it right back to middle age.
Yeah.
And trust me when I tell you, my co-instructors are not peeing like 3 times before they get ready to teach.
Right. Okay. So tell me about the morning because like when do you have coffee? How can you work any of it
Okay.
out?
I will tell you, when I'm teaching in the mornings, like tomorrow morning, you know how if anyone follows you, Jenny, they know how you feel about your coffee. I
I
know that
need
you
it.
don't start your day without your coffee and your non-fat cream, the whole thing.
My non-dairy creamer. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't drink coffee
Yep.
before I teach.
I get
So
that.
on mornings, that's a freaking struggle because
Yep.
I know people that have to have that first cup of coffee at like 7.
Mhm.
I will not have the coffee because I can't be
Of
having
course
any
not.
situations.
I am with you. I wouldn't. By the way, if I were on the days that I have to work out fast and get the
Yeah,
fuck out of the house, I
yeah.
can't have my coffee until I'm done exercising. No way. It won't work.
So I'll give you, and listen, I'm teaching in the morning tomorrow. I'll tell you what my day is. I'm teaching at 10 a.m.
Yep.
I'll have my alarm go off at 7:30. I will get myself together. The car picks me up tomorrow at about 8.
Mhm.
Peloton. Okay, just that, whatever. We don't have to get into that, but I will get into the city. Our call times, we have to be in the green room 45 minutes before our class time. That's across the board. Doesn't matter what you teach, who you are, if you're special, if you're more famous than anyone else. We have to be there 45 minutes before. I'm a rule follower. I always am. Playlists are submitted the day before at a certain time. I'm a rule follower. I do my work. I get that shit in. We get to the studio. We do our own makeup, which is hilarious because I don't know how to do that, but I've gotten so much better. I've become like a
gorgeous. I'm going to ask you what you use in a minute. Go on. Yeah.
So folks, we do our own makeup. We do our own hair. So that's what that 45-minute window is. I come to Peloton dressed in what I'm wearing that day. I pick it out the night before because I don't have time in the morning to do that shit. And then hair and makeup, I do it myself in the instructor green room. We get mic'd up by an amazing PA. We get brought into the room that you see me teaching on that bike, like 10 minutes before start time of the ride.
Yeah.
We do a sound check. We do a thing called screen grabs. That's those thumbnails that you find on the bike that say like, it's a picture of me that you can tap on and take that ride. So we do these little pictures. We go over audio. We have some banter. We, get ourselves ready to go. And then we go live. I go live in what we call a pre-show 3 minutes before start time.
Mm-hmm.
We teach. We take the mic off. I go back into the green room. I get into my car and I get the hell out of New York City because I'm not cool. I don't stay and go shopping. I don't stay and meet friends for lunch. I'm a little like you. I'm a homebody. I get the fuck out.
Right. And you go home and have breakfast, or you have coffee in the car?
There's no drama. Lay low.
Where's the coffee? Where's the coffee?
Okay. So I will get that first cup of coffee the minute the ride is done, right there, like at Peloton. And then I'll come home and, start looking at, there's always, there's meetings, there's Zooms, there's stuff, there's things, there's that kind of work that has to get done. And that's like a typical day now that's a day like tomorrow.
When's the shower?
Oh, when I get home. I don't shower at Peloton.
No, I know. Like you walk in the door and you shower.
No, but we've got beautiful showering situations.
I know, of course, but that doesn't matter. You're an instructor.
Change
Honestly,
your clothes.
do you go, you get back in the car?
Yeah.
All gross. And by the way, they should send a car for you. So I hope you don't have any hesitation about that. Because honestly, you have to get there at a certain time. You have to be on camera. That's television.
Yeah.
That you don't need the hassle of the traffic and the parking. Sorry, it's part of the job description. So there should be zero shame about any of it. You have to look a certain way and you have to show up a certain way. You got to be on time. You can't be worrying about where you're going to throw your damn car. The city is really hard to navigate.
Pulling into every parking garage when you drive your car in, and no garage.
And no one will take you.
So
yes.
Anyway.
I used to do live TV. I know. And it's live. It's hell. So, okay. So you get home, do you walk in the house and immediately shower?
It depends because sometimes there will be a day that I have taught on the bike, but I also want to come home and do a little of my own workout at home.
Okay.
So a little strength training situation. If I know that I have another workout, which is right down in my basement, I'm so blessed to be able to have a room that I can do that in.
Yeah.
Then the shower won't happen yet because I know there's another workout.
Right.
If I'm not working out again, if I'm not walking on the treadmill or I'm not hopping on the rower or I'm not lifting some weights, then I shower.
Yeah.
And then I've got my day.
Right. Then you have the rest of the day.
It consists of anything exciting. Yeah. It consists of checking in with my children, making sure they're like alive and well because they're not so responsive all the time, and doing the things that you do, taking care of the house, going out food shopping. I do all the regular normal shit.
Yeah.
None of that has changed.
Yeah. I love it.
And hair color. I mean, trying to just
maintenance. It's a lot. Are you kidding me? It's every 2 weeks. There's a lot that we have to do to keep ourselves looking like we're human. It's so sad. I know. It's so what's your makeup? What foundation or concealer or whatever do you like?
Oh, that'll have to be for another podcast because listen, I will be honest. I've really become, I watch a lot of these tutorials and I love Beauty Pie, a company that I've been talking about for a long time.
Beauty Pie is great.
Skincare.
Yes,
they are freaking awesome. If you don't know Beauty Pie, best kept secret. Just please look into it. Right. I live for Jones Road.
Yeah, they're good too. Yeah,
Bobby Brown is the shit.
Yeah,
that makeup is the shit for more mature. But I love it all. Like I learn a lot from Carly, like the Fenty Beauty, the like all the newer like. I got a little Charlotte Tilbury thrown in there. I got G Beauty. Do you know G Beauty
I
out of
don't.
Miami?
Mm-mm.
I mean, not sponsored, not
No,
there.
but you like them. Okay. I'm
I
a big,
also
I use Jones Road
Thrive,
yeah, Thrive is Thrive's
Boosh
my
Beauty.
favorite.
I've got
Yeah.
it all. I love
Yeah.
Boosh Beauty. It's a lot of stuff. We can do a whole makeup thing one day.
Yeah, so because Carissa Bodnar from
She's
Thrive,
awesome.
yeah,
Peloton member, by the way.
I know. She's the one that I was saying that's who I do my rides, my treads with a lot. Like,
Yeah.
we meet on the treadmill.
I'm wearing
Um,
the Thrive mascara right now. I
I
mean,
wear
and
it
I
every
doubt
day.
I like to play with all the stuff I have. I use a little bit of everybody, but
Mhm.
I happen to have Thrive on today.
I have it on every day. It's my favorite mascara. And I use the Jones Road Beauty What the foundation, I think, is a really good foundation for my kind of dry,
Do
flaky
you use any
skin.
of the Miracle Bombs, the thing that comes in the pot?
I don't know how to use them effectively, but I do know how to use that foundation and the sticks. I like
Yeah,
the concealer sticks are good to
I
like
have those.
spot,
Yep.
but then I put the what the foundation on top. And then but the Thrive eye stuff is better than anything. Like the Thrive Cosmetics waterproof eyeshadow sticks are to die for.
What I love about makeup right now, and then I'm not going to turn this into a whole conversation, but
It's all
I
okay.
need it to be easy and not
Yes,
complicated. And I
correct.
feel like the makeup out now is so great like that.
It
Like you
is.
can just like do, and like I'm telling you, I go
Yeah.
because I see like
Yeah.
TikTokers do and I'm like, oh my gosh, that
Throw
actually
it on and you're out the
good.
door. Yeah.
And trust me, I did not know how to do makeup. Jess King sat me down one day,
She's so great.
I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and she's like, Jen, I love you. You cannot put that eyeliner inside your eye anymore. Allie Love was there. She witnessed it. My girl sat me down and said, you gotta step it up with the makeup. We can help. What do you want to know? And
Oh,
that was when I was like, you know what? I really do have to figure this out a little bit more. Less is more, but I
yeah.
kind of know how to do it now, and it's fun. I like
It's
it.
nice that so many of you are still there because
Yes.
there is a great camaraderie. I know Leanne just came out with she had a
Oh.
breast cancer diagnosis, and I feel like between she is
Mm,
engaged to Ben, and then she lost her best friend to an accident, and then the breast cancer diagnosis, and she's
yeah.
still showing up.
She
And
is a
oh
beautiful
my God,
spirit. She's a
for
glittery,
real.
shining bad. And I didn't know about it until the announcement.
Yeah.
I'm not close with her in that way. I just admire
Yeah.
her from afar.
Of course. She's
And
across the
so
pond.
hearing that news was not only shocking and upsetting, but what an
Yeah.
inspiration she's been. Still
Yeah.
showing up. She's doing great.
Yeah.
I hear she's doing great. We've been in touch back and forth, but yeah, listen, we are a family for sure.
I think
People like
so.
wonder like if that shit's real, if it's yeah, I have a huge age difference with a lot of my instructors. You and I have talked about this, and I'm like Mama Jen to a lot of them.
Yeah.
I am so proud of these kids. They are kids. I am
Yeah.
so proud of them. Watching their journeys has been so amazing. Like I'm on the back nine of this shit. Their careers are all exploding, and it's
Yeah.
such a joy to watch.
Yeah.
I
Well,
love my team. I
I
do.
and I see that. See, that's the thing.
It's
Like having
genuine.
no,
It's
I know
genuine.
it is. Well,
Yeah.
I can attest to it just because of knowing you off the bike. Of course it's real. Like the way you've always talked about
Yeah.
the instructors is very much like they're your friends, they're your colleague, they're your family. And when you've been through that kind of experience with people, of course there's a bond. How could there not be? Nobody else is going to understand that experience that you guys all have had.
Especially, and you mentioned before that so many of us are still there. When
Yeah.
I started back in 2013, it was very shortly after that that Robin was on board, that Jess King was on board, that
Yeah.
Cody was on board, that Hannah was on board. I have
Yeah.
been through this crazy fucking roller
With
coaster
all of them.
bonkers experience. Eh, Yeah. Alex came shortly after that. Even Emma and Dennis, who seem to come like later. I feel like I've been working by their alley. We've all been together going
Yeah.
through this thing for years
Yeah.
now. And I
And
love
then
how
an
this
adorable Kendall. She's been great too.
she's
Yeah.
awesome. She's a kid. I stay away
Yeah.
from her ride. She scares me. She's
Oh, she's so hard, but she
Olivia,
is
Olivia too.
yeah. Oh, no,
Olivia.
they're so hard. It's, like, obnoxious,
Yeah,
but I really appreciate how she's been outspoken about mental health from
absolutely.
the jump because,
Absolutely.
you know, we all have our stuff. But now I feel like no matter what, even if they have to like wheel you off the bike somehow at some point, you have turned into an influencer. And I think that's only going to grow for you.
I don't know. I don't even, I'm just kind of staying in the moment, taking it as it comes. I don't even want to think about the day that I'm out at Peloton anymore, but it's coming. I shouldn't even just, what I just said is going to set people up. It's not coming, but let's be realistic. What am I,
You're
the
fine.
oldest living instructor? I don't
It
know.
doesn't, but we need you. You're needed. What do you mean?
Right.
I need that. I
Listen,
don't listen.
my
The
body
biggest
feels good. I'm knocking.
Yeah.
I'm still holding up. And I said it earlier during the conversation, as long as Peloton still wants me, I'm not ready to be done. I'm not going anywhere yet.
Oh my God, definitely not. You're so great. We need you. Are you kidding me? There will be a riot. I need you on that damn bike. It's not, I need to see my friends, like someone like me.
Yeah. Well,
Not that, I mean, I like the young people too. Don't get me wrong. There's someone for everyone. And I go, and yes, and it's inspiring, but like, I want someone who's I'm not going to be 20.
Yeah.
So my body's going to be.
And we ain't getting any younger, my girl.
No, I just want to be, mobile and stuff. I love talking to you. I think you are really just the real deal, which is the other reason why people like you, because there's no bullshit. You're just who you are. We're going to hear a lot of F-bombs and I love when people get mad at you for
better or for
cursing.
worse.
Yeah, so dumb. I'm like, what do you seriously? You're all such prudes at home. Like you can't handle the word fuck. Like
that's why we've got a whole roster of instructors. You don't want to hear the F word. You don't have to hear it.
Correct.
You don't have to take my rise, and that's
you can
really
find a gentle instructor.
By the way, I'm not going to end this without saying congrats to you, you badass. You have pivoted, and look at you, and you are working your ass
I
off.
am. Yep.
Congrats on Just Jenny and making this whole new sort of.
It's
good for you.
It's good. It works. No, I'm happy. It works with my not leaving the house kind of lifestyle. So I'm built.
Oh, and by the way, just FYI, I listened to so many episodes of yours. I've been on a couple of planes recently, like traveling around a little bit. I think Stacy is my favorite guest.
Everyone's
your sister.
I know.
You need her weekly.
I mean, know. I'm trying. She's very busy. Jenn,
she admits to that. She tells you she's very busy.
I know. And I said
can't
to her,
write her shit down fast enough.
I am like, Stace, I need to do, she wants it to be just right. She wants to come up with different lists for different things. I'm like, fine, make your list. But like, I want her on. I agree. She's so good. She is so good.
She's just one of those girls that knows it all. Always
knows
has.
It all. Always did. Always will.
That's just always has. Always will.
That's
Tell her I
Stacey.
say hi.
I will.
And I send my love.
All right. Follow Jenn on social media at Peloton Jenn with 2 N's. Everywhere at Peloton Jenn. Be sure to take her classes. If you don't have a Peloton bike or rower or tread, it's really worth every dollar. I know because I have my bike and I've been a member since 2016 and still am. Yeah. And I love the platform. And thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me again. Anytime. I love chatting with you. I missed you and I love seeing you right here in front of me.
Yeah, no, it's always
maybe
good.
One day when I actually leave the house and we've talked about this. It'll never happen.
No, maybe I'm going to come to the city. I'm going to come do a ride. I'm going to come do a ride and then I'm going to get the Peloton tour. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come to the studio.
Can we do that?
Yes, I'm going to plan it. Yes.
And then maybe will you even eat like a
yes. I will plan it and I will plan it with, I will plan
anytime I can make that happen.
Yes, for sure.
I can't make many things happen. That I can make
that you could definitely do. I'm at Just Jenny Hut on Instagram, on TikTok and Twitter. I'm at Jenny Hut. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the episodes, just email justjennypod@gmail.com. Jenn Sherman, I'll see you on the bike.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you, honey.
All right. And the rest of you, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Bye.